All right, I'm starting.
Am I?
Hello, and welcome to Bitcoin and Altcoin Trading Talk, episode 57. Got the BATT wall going on here at the Coinigy offices. Usual cast of characters. How you guys doing tonight? Or this afternoon, I should say.
I will. Hi, everybody. Should I come off camera? I'm in my old man rocking chair, but I'll come off. I don't know whether.
No worries, no worries.
Camera work. How are you doing, Alex? There I am. Oh my God, I look horrible. But I'm in my old man rocking chair.
Yeah, I'm definitely in need of a shave. I think I'm starting to look like Will a bit. So
yeah, I'm like way overdue for a haircut. That's why I'm rocking the hat today. So the beard can use a little trim too. Oh, I'm so sorry to offend you. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
All right, that's all right. I haven't shaved myself. I've been working like crazy.
Right on.
I've been busy.
Well, hey, just wanted to say hello and welcome back to all of our viewers and all of you folks out there. If you don't know me, I'm William from William Kale, part of Coinigy.com. Really quick update. Our app we hope to have out tomorrow. iOS and Android. So the iOS may take a little while for approval, but we have trading pretty much thoroughly QA'd, so that's pretty cool. So that's exciting. It's also why I have bags under my eyes presently. Okay, Alex sent the live chat link here.
I had somebody on the site here. If I'm allowed to, somebody asked a couple questions that maybe I could ask for them to you.
Sure. I'll do my best to answer them.
All right, I have no idea. I'm just going to read. It says, number one, there is a beta feature of margin trading. I tried it with Poloniex only, but it seems to be very beta, i.e. numbers shown are not correct, items are missing. Is there any time estimation? Is there any development happening for the margin trading feature?
That's been on a back burner for quite a while, really. So once we get version 2 of the platform rolled out, that's going to be more of a focus, really.
All right. So Hyundai, you just had
basically margin trading right now is good on Coinigy, is good for basically opening and closing positions for the most part.
All right. And then the second question this other person asked was, trading on Binance has been disabled?
Yes.
So maybe you could just give an update as to what's going on with you guys in Binance.
Yeah, if you want the thorough update, check out the last podcast. I gave a pretty thorough kind of rundown of what has happened there and what's going on. Since then, we've been trying to get in touch with them. We've had multiple lawyers try to reach out to them.
Wow.
And lawyers of exchanges try to reach out to them and unsuccessfully. So right now, really, there's nothing going on in that department. So we're sticking, with what we have, and balance updates are it. Unfortunately, their API hasn't changed. They haven't contacted us, haven't replied to any of our chats. So that's
that. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Just somebody asked if.
No problem. No, it's
maybe they're.
Trust me, we hear you guys. I mean, honest to God, we hear you guys. Literally hundreds of tweets and mentions all day long. Unfortunately, we're doing everything we can, but when the other party refuses to kind of respond,
What about
also trying your best? So.
I mean, I might take a flight out to Malta one of these days.
They're still there. Like, I mean, they've moved. This is their fifth move now. Like, I'm just waiting for them to finally settle. But I think OKX is going to move there as well. So it
sounds like Malta is very crypto friendly. So especially from the fiat and banking side of things. So and I mentioned this before the show too. We've been having our own issues with Amex. Even though you can't use cryptocurrency through Coinigy, we got lumped in basically with the, I guess you could say, bad actors according to Amex, and Amex decided to suspend our credit card payments. So we're trying to figure out, how to kind of plea our case there, kind of working with lawyers on that. But it's just this whole kind of, the banks are fighting back, I guess you could say, and just trying to cut things cut things off. There are obviously a lot of bad actors out there too. So the folks like us who are just basically selling software kind of get lumped in with IPO folks and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, the good thing is you got Christine Lagarde is now on your side. She's not a crypto hater. That's always good.
Quick question.
Yeah, I saw the AG now is launching an inquiry into like 13 exchanges too, which is kind of interesting. It's those exchanges I don't think are very popular, and then others obviously are. So,
well, that must be why that person was asking about those exchanges I was asking about earlier, right? Maybe that's the. Do you have like a link or something to that? You said that I heard somebody, maybe Dav, did you say that the New York Attorney General is?
It's the U.S. Attorney General, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
U.S. Attorney General.
Okay. The U.S. Attorney General's what?
They're doing basically an inquiry on. I'm sorry. It says. Oh no, it is New York. You're right. E.G. Schneiderman.
I think maybe I was talking with Thomas about that today.
Here, I'm going to paste this in the chat here.
Yeah.
A quick point about the Binance thing. You know what? Have you thought about designing a workaround for it? Maybe an app?
We have, and we have the capability to work around it. But I mean, we're not spring chickens here. I mean, we have proxy banks up the wazoo. We could just hammer the hell out of them. We're trying to take a more diplomatic approach than just kind of subverting that and doing that. So, you know, that was basically the first thing that came to our mind. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll just go around your restrictions and fire up proxies, but you lose security when you do that. You know, once all of our users are now firing out tons and tons of API calls, you know, over technically insecure, I guess you could say, proxies. It's just not really a great way to kind of open diplomatic talks with them either. I mean, we're trying to do this the right way. So, you know, the other option is potentially to do something where like the keys are stored on the user's client side and then we connect via WebSockets. So we're looking into maybe doing something like that as well. You lose the ability to get historical data and a lot of, you know, offline trading and alerts and that kind of stuff that way. But
did you put out a tweet that this show was on? How long ago did we start?
No. Hold on a second, and I had it geared up.
Okay, just curious.
Damn it. I knew it. Okay.
How can you tell we're a bit rusty at this, eh?
Yeah, no kidding. I'm just like, my brain is just fried today. I apologize.
I'm in my rocking chair.
So I'm tweeting that now. So that just went out because I did have it ready.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago at CoinFest in Vancouver, we had a panel of exchanges, a couple Canadian exchanges and one guy from Nebulous in France. And yeah, a lot of what the Canadian guys are saying was they wanted to start having talks amongst each other about maybe launching a suit with the Anti-Competition Bureau, I think it's called. Because the banks are basically blocking customers from using their own funds, and then it's all related to using their services. So it's they're a little upset, I guess, and they feel that like well, there might be a case there, you know, like it does seem like anti-competitive behavior that we're starting to see from the banks now, which I mean, nobody didn't see this coming. I mean, I think we were kind of happy with the environment the way it was in 2017, but yeah, and now I think it's Bitcoin is bad, blockchain is good, that sort of narrative again.
That's what my lawyer said, that he could. All the exchanges have a great case to defeat against the banks here in Chile because there's nothing against them in the law saying that they can run an exchange. So. All of them have prejudiced themselves against exchanges, so something's very wrong there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think part of it might just be the cybersecurity aspect of it. Like they don't want to deal with all of their, you know, customers who've been phished in the past, who they don't really have any, the criminals that are floating those numbers around online. They don't really have any good way of profiting from them. as much as they can with like crypto. So if you say, hey, we're accepting credit cards or Interact for crypto, then immediately they're like, hey, here's a spot where I can dump on it. Like Einstein Exchange in Vancouver, when they were testing Interact e-transfer, the first day they turned it on, they had like 1.3 billion in attempted fraud. So there's a lot of people who have been compromised and probably don't even know it, and the banks just do not want to deal with that hassle. Like, because they're going to ask for chargebacks, and yeah, there's a lot, I think, going on their customer side too.
Well, that's interesting. Plot thickens, eh?
Yeah, no, it's exchanges. They're one of the more interesting people to talk to in the space. Not unlike you guys. I mean, it's always good to hear what's going on at Coinigy. I mean, I heard stirrings that there might be some maybe new UIs. I'm hoping that Bittrex with their new UI doesn't have people coming back. I think there's good opportunity there.
But I haven't really used it extensively, other than pretty much opening it and clicking around. It looks pretty good to me. I think the charting library they're using is a little buggy and whatnot, but I mean, at this point, kind of all of them are. So
it's just a couple minor glitches. Yeah,
we're basically we're very, very close to putting like we're calling it UI v2 into beta. But kind of prior to that, our iOS and Android apps, I'm hoping to have those live by tomorrow, if all goes well here. So what we're doing, I mentioned this on the last podcast as well, we're doing kind of a soft launch. So you're going to need a Coinigy account. We're not going to be signing up new users through the app or anything. And we're trying to figure out, ways to do trading on iOS. That's not going to get us kick banned from the whole situation. So Android, definitely trading will be available right away. iOS, there might be a little bit of a delay there, but and that's due to regulations on their side. So as far as UI v2, everything has been built basically from the ground up again in React.js. So it's very highly performant. I kind of want to show you guys, but I don't know if I want to show the URL and whatnot for security purposes. But we'll definitely be tweeting out some teasers here shortly. But we're thinking within the next basically 2 weeks, we'll have certain users will have access to UI v2 just through the regular Coinigy account, at least the markets page. That's kind of what we started out, recreating the markets page, fixing just about every bug that we could find on the markets page and whatnot. So we have a couple other features that, well, I don't have to get into it, but we're calling it boards, basically Coinigy boards, the ability to kind of drop little apps in on a widgetized dashboard. So that'll be pretty cool. That's coming kind of later this quarter. So yeah, I'm not a great hype man, so
cool. I like new things to play with.
Well, the next show, you know what? I'm going to set it up on my phone, and maybe I can show you to everybody. Show it off the Coinigy app on your phone through the what's it called, the Hangouts. So I'm pretty sure you can download an application that.
To just stream your screen.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's real. It's here.
There we go.
And stuff.
Sweet.
Nice.
Doesn't that look slick?
It's nice. Trust me, it's nice. And see, trading is real. I promise. Except I have a Binance market loaded, so that's not real. But if I was on a market that we had trading, that would be real. GDX, for example. So yeah, anyways, it's coming along. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So anyways, we should probably stop boring everybody with this stuff. And
not boring at all.
Brian, did you get your claim in for your UBIC?
My claim in for my UBIC.
Yeah, the airdrop that we're doing. It's you have to claim it. It doesn't just go to your Bittrex account. It requires a little bit more active work. Yeah, we're just coming up on Monday.
How many
here.
do you need?
You can have the very little, less than one if you do. That's all you got. But I assume you have some more. But yeah, we have this basically token airdrop going on the UBIC chain to claimed addresses, and it's going to be like for active users basically, and it will be
you have to like lock the coins up.
Only for a day. I mean, if that's
I have to send them out of Trex to somewhere else.
Yeah, so you'll need to have a wallet. I like using a Trezor wallet like this one, and then you can even get like a cool little home screen because yeah, you got to be repping. But yeah, if you have a hardware wallet, Brian, that would be the best place to send it to. Otherwise, you can create just a wallet without downloading anything, like even a paper wallet, and claim from that. Yeah, like I can show you guys a quick process here. It's pretty
yeah, short. Like I bought your coin. I had a nice little setup working, and I got stopped out, so I blew that out. But a lot of people were on the site are trading another setup that came in on your coin, and that would mean though that I would have to like abandon the trade setup and be an investor in the trade. I don't know whether I can do that or not. That might be against the rules.
That sounds like the exact purpose of doing it for only active addresses, because like this is going to be for the governance system. So like we only want active participants in the network. So like if you're just a trader's got to trade. Well, trader's not going to get a vote. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. You're already voting on the market, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I mean, really, do I want to be part of UBIC management? Not really. No offense, love you dearly. You can be the UBIC managers and be the best manager you can.
Yeah, but you can boss Alex around all day. I mean,
yeah, this is great for deferred action. Like now, I don't have to micromanage as much. Like the governance system is going to really help with the overall platform.
And that would mean if I did that, that would mean I would actually have to actively vote on stuff.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could just sit on those coins and then
but there's like and you said there's like an airdrop, so I'm getting sort of encouraged to do this because you're going to pay me something else.
Yeah, you're going to receive this Escher token is the name we've gone with.
All right. And how long until that thing comes out of the works?
So that's happening Monday around I think 4 p.m. And it's one of the first. We're going to be doing 8 of these distributions. This is the first one, and it's the biggest. The next one is happening in 3 months in the summer, and that will be for 6 Escher token per UBIC. This one that's coming up is 12. So it's just kind of like that, you know, distribution.
So if I have like thousands of these things, that means I get like 12x whatever I sort of lock away. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, if you participate in every airdrop, you're gonna have about 27 of them by the end. So that's kind of the.
And what does this new token give me? Like, what's the big selling feature? Why would I want this token?
So yeah, it's going to be like your proportional weight in our governance system. So voting on, like we have an MDF with like 20 Bitcoins in it that we're going to delegate to different tasks using like these votes. But since it is a token like every other Ethereum token, we can copy some of the open source software that's out there, like the main one being 0x Exchange, which is decentralized exchange, so you can trade exactly on, like right on the Ethereum platform. We're going to make it so you can trade right on the UBIC platform, so you don't have to apply to one of these exchanges that's getting bent over by the government. You can just have your stuff trading on the chain. Let us do the hard work with UBIC. Yeah, so that's the first use case. There's a bunch of like basically kind of protocol tokens being built on a Ethereum. And we want to have those built all into one token that we're giving to everyone, or to the most active people. That's yeah. That's.
Well, I don't understand. because if I want all 27 of these tokens, that means I basically have to lock up my UBIC supply until you're done this thing, right?
Yeah, for about 2 years. But I mean, you can just all you do is withdraw. You submit a claim to the contract, so it's like it could be your chance to interact with the first smart contract, Brian.
Well, but I remember I was talking to you on Twitter, and did you put that sort of step by three? Because you showed me the webpage, and I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I had no idea what it was that I was looking at.
So
did you do like a walkthrough video or something for people?
We have a walkthrough video that's very thorough, and you can do it in about a minute if that's all you have. But yeah,
I have to give you my tokens for the next 2 years. Is that what you said?
No, you're allowed to hold your tokens, and you only have to basically submit a claim for the snapshot block that's happening. And that's happening 4 times. So like you could have your stuff off exchange just for a day and then submit a claim. But ideally, yeah, you're gonna keep.
There's a fee to move money around here, though, eh? So every time I move, there's gonna be a little chip. And what's
Brian, the fee on UBIC is like a fifth of a penny. Come on, we're so much cheaper than like.
You brought this up, so I'm gonna bust your chops here. Sorry, Chief.
Okay. I want to know. I want to know how can you use this thing? Like, I mean, I've got this. I'm pretty sure that it only works with currencies like Bitcoin and UBIC's like, isn't it like Ethereum?
Yeah,
Trezor's work with Ethereum now, or they did after a software update. But
so if you use like MyEther wallet or MyCrypto, whatever you prefer, like you can load up your Trezor wallet and it will populate with a bunch of Ethereum addresses that you can put Ethereum and Ethereum tokens in. And we forked that code base to do the same thing with UBIC. So we have our own version of MyEther wallet, but you can actually interact with UBIC on the MyEther wallet site. Here, let me share my screen. For
all that stuff. All that stuff at the end of the show.
Oh, I suppose. I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of options for wallets here. Like you can have Ledger or Trezor, just a key store file. Yeah, the ones that are a little more difficult at the bottom. But yeah, all you guys got to do is you know, have your own address. There's a blog post on the UBIC Smart Twitter. I won't take any more time on this, but it explains it much more thoroughly. And yeah, Brian, if you don't have a hardware wallet already, you should probably get on that. Unless you're planning on trading everything you got.
I am one of those path of least resistance guys.
If you get a hardware wallet, by the way, and this is good advice for everyone: buy it straight from the manufacturer. Don't buy it from someone else.
So somebody told me that I had to have an Ether wallet, and but it doesn't. I did an airdrop thing, but it doesn't look like that came to it. So where's my screen share? How do I do this? Guess we'll go over here. So I loaded up this thing called Jaxx, Jaxx.
Oh yeah.
Sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I have that wallet on my phone.
The thing
on your computer though. It's not very secure because if anybody has access to your computer, even if they have a separate account, they can get all your access, get all your wallets.
Well, that's cool because I don't have anything in it anyway, so that's fine. But if anything, Alex, what I think you need to do is like that video, is you got to go, okay, Brian, you idiot. Step 1, turn on your computer. Step 2. I'm that stupid when it comes to this stuff, Alex. You got to understand, I'm not very smart, right?
No, I understand. There's a lot of usability still. I think that needs to be built in the cryptocurrency space. I was told by my dad yesterday. He phoned me. It's like, we watched an interview with you, and yeah, we managed to get through the whole thing. We didn't quite follow everything, but I'm sure the people who researched this really saw you.
A penny for every time I heard that.
Yeah, well, it's pretty heady stuff, you know. And
it's really exciting for you guys. I have no idea what the hell you do or what it is, but congrats.
It's damn handsome beard you got there, Will. Remember, all I know how to do is buy, sell, buy, sell. That's all I know how to do. 2 buttons, right? That's it.
Is that you on the Bitcoin chart right now? Like the margin traders are getting whipped around like something else.
Yeah, it's pretty vicious action today, no doubt about it. And I heard, like there's, I think there was CBOE contract expiry, and I think somebody's trying to push the price around because we were joking earlier. One of our people, Thomas, he had tweeted out there's some guy sitting on the bid on Altcoin for like I think it's like 600,000 contracts. Oh, so wow. Somebody's really trying to push this market around. So I don't know. Is that a good dovetail? Should we get into looking at the charts?
Oh, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Bitcoin right now. Like it seems like we're at a point of decision.
Well, actually, I think the point of decision happened about a week or so ago. So I don't know. Here, we'll pull up this chart. Might as well always start at the beginning, right? Once upon a time in a land far, far away. Everybody's probably remember this chart from eons ago.
Cool.
I think the irony of it all is that all this market really did was just a very natural technical correction. CME event, buy the rumor, sell the news. We're really disappointed in this sort of higher ups that are running this show because I think this was very blatant and very suspect. I'm really disappointed that Chicago Board Options Exchange has a futures contract on Bitcoin. Like that makes any sense at all. And they have no options on Bitcoin on an options exchange. Can somebody please explain that to me? So there's the old saying, right? Something stinks in Rotterdam and it ain't the cheese. There's something just not right about what happened here, but nonetheless, it happened, and it's hindsight's 2020 now. Took a lot to try and get people not to get too sucked into the euphoria, and wow, is it ever euphoric? Interestingly enough, the correction, the meltdown. And this is what I love about crypto is this space moves at light speed. Actually, just for fun, I did a comparison of the 1980 gold bull market and how long it took for that to unwind. And you can see that peak was like 1980. And I think that Bitcoin is already sort of like right about here now. So by 1982, Bitcoin's done that in like less than 4 months. It's stunning how quickly this space moves. But a lot of similarities. The question ultimately is are we here or are we here? And I just it's very tough to call it perfectly. One thing I really did like about the recent price action was we came down to a good old 61.8. We like to call that the mountain man level, right up against really important support and resistance here on the charts as well. Put up a hell of a fight. Dead cat bounce back up into 38.2s. Oh, very normal. Came right back down, ate some tail, and then we just sort of sat here for you can see this is 3 weeks, right, in this pattern down here. I was speaking with, like Twitter and stuff like that, talking about really interesting harmonic patterns that developed in the Japanese market. I think a lot of the panic selling coming, especially down through here, was a lot to do with what the bankruptcy courts were going to do with the Mt. Gox coins out of Japan. And what was interesting is through this event, I think the market got news that because the guy's got something like 160,000 coins still left to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of coins.
Said he was going to wait now till the end of the year or something, or?
Well, I think the scuttlebutt goes that if it was bankruptcy proceedings, then he would just hit the bid, right, and just dump it and liquidate. But I think in Japan, they have, because it's not like critical and people are really worried about this amount of supply hitting the market, they've actually transitioned this into what they call civil rehabilitation, which means that the trustee doesn't have to be as aggressive on the sell side. And I think this sort of scuttlebutt was that when the market heard that he was just dumping violently, and people were not happy about him just basically destroying the order book, that I think he was sort of encouraged that if you're going to liquidate these, at least maybe try and do it OTC off, you know, like on a third side market, if you will.
Which now Gemini has added block trades now.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot more. In fact, I think what happened was in Asia, and I heard specifically in Australia, they were doing just staggering amounts of business in block trading off exchange. and the Winkle-Dinkles, of course, go, hey, let's go over in America. We want a piece of that action, right? Mm-hmm. So they pay enough lawyers, throw enough money at it, and all of a sudden, boom, now they're officially an off-book, what do they call block trading block operation facility.
Cool block trading.
Just the bottom line, this sort of tone that I got was that, and also too, you know, I had made reference earlier, I was actually a bit surprised. The bureaucrats, they've sort of softened their tone a little bit about crypto. We were talking about Christine Lagarde, I think her name is. She was just a major crypto hater there about 2 or 3 months ago. And now she was even putting out stuff today saying, well, here are the pros and here are the cons, and let's not shit on this space because maybe, you know, this is actually half decent technology, blah, 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 blah. So I think, you know, the combination of those things sort of let up the pressure on the downside. And if we go look at some of the lower time frame charts, you know, I think it was almost like the sentiment had just gotten so negative and the market was just one directional for so long. It almost just felt like the market needed to have a snapback. So I don't know whether this is sort of that technical snapback. I'm trying to find the damn charts. Where is it? I guess it's over here.
It's funny that this is just like another bear whale, like the last sort of run up that we had in 2014. Like we had the bear whale in the fall, so like this is similar timing again. We got the Japanese bear whale this time.
Yeah, and actually, so this is the chart I was looking for. Like I like to watch Japan pretty closely because of that because of the GOX coins. And I noticed that just everything coiled so tightly. And what was so cool about this is like one hell of a trade location. The interesting thing, though, is that the harmonic guys, they look for 38.2 as sort of their initial target. And I would make the argument that, you know, they've got their level. And I know a couple guys on the site, they just love trading with Scott Carney and his harmonics. I think, if anything, they got that profit objective. And whatever positions they have left on the books, their stops are basically at scratch, and they're just going to just sort of see where the wind blows. You know, I guess the feeling I get is that because this was so one directional, what I've noticed through here was that there's just not that much selling pressure. Market would set itself up even like last night. I was, you know, commenting with Julian, our site administrator, basically our head honcho at TRI now. Great to see Julian's maturation into just a fantastic company director.
Right on. What's up, Julian, if you're watching?
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job.
You're liking your Coinigy shirts, man.
Yeah, in fact, and he's wearing his swag. It's so cool to watch him. He loves the Coinigy garb. I got to get off my butt. I said I was too shy to order. So I'm gonna step up now and get my swag. So next show I'll be properly attired.
All right, yeah, we got a special promo code for you, Brian. Just
all right, cool. Big loudmouth, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
But
could make something funny for you. Anyway,
what I'm kind of thinking now is if we do get trend continuation, I'd like to see a bit of consolidation through here to set up sort of an AB equals CD leg, taking us up into this neighborhood. But it hasn't quite come in yet, and we have to be cognizant of the fact that the guys that did take the trade off the bottom, we've had that very natural 38.2 test. That's very normal. Basically, this trade played out exactly the way it was supposed to play out. So, when we look at the lower time frames, we might, and also that trade off of the lows, it was fantastic. I mean, it was just an absolute textbook 3 drives setup. And I just felt like the market just simply ran out of sellers here. Now, usually when we have this kind of pattern, when I was trading crude, I used to wait for this. We call this market structure bottom. Hopefully you can see the W's. We have a couple site members that are just in love with trendline breaks. And so we had a beautiful long setup off the lows here. But I'm really, like the first question I'd ask is, okay, it just felt like the market ran out of sellers. And then was there anything driving this rally? And there was something in particular that I think was driving this rally. And it had something to do with a coin that actually I'm long from 2 sats on, which is almost funny. But trading right now at pretty high valuations. I certainly couldn't justify people chasing it. And I think interestingly enough, our fate coming out of yesterday was very dominated by this. I don't know whether you guys are familiar with the Verge story, but this was a classic buy the rumor, sell the news event. And a lot of people were getting really wrapped up in, oh my God, is Visa, is American Express, is it MasterCard? It was a porn outlet. It was going to be their major vendor.
Who pays for porn? I mean, come on.
Well, and yeah, that's one thing unto itself, right? Is I couldn't figure that one out, but some people are like, oh yeah, no, people actually pay for stuff on those sites. And I was like, really? So
I've been hearing lots of good jokes about it. And it's like, oh, well, people who bought Verge are probably likely to pay for porn. No talk to you, Brian.
It was pretty amazing if you guys saw that, like the launch video.
Yeah, like it was good PR. It was just, it was probably overpriced for what it was because they raised a shitload of money for it. Yeah, like they were driving around like.
Interesting that they did a crowd fund in order to partner, like why did they need all that crowd? I don't know.
What I didn't understand was people were saying that they were asking for people who bought the coin to donate the coins back to them because they were in need of money.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people are calling like exit scam. Like this sounds stupid. Like,
yeah, I mean everybody should understand that Brian, and I remember we did Coinigy shows on this. Brian is long Verge from, and actually I had an interesting tutorial with someone today where we actually did this, right? This is what we call a narrow sideways channel. Do you remember I remember we talked about this for quite a bit. Like this is a
lot in 2016.
Yeah, I mean this is like bread and butter for technicians. They love this stuff. And, we had some guys, Crypto Gambler and Not So Fast and all those miner guys, right? They're coming along here and just loading up mining, right? I just, as a technician, I go narrow sideways channel. Nobody's interested in this thing. If I can get this damn thing to cooperate. Nobody's interested. So I was like, oh, what the hell? I'll start accumulating. So, this is where TRI is long. 2 bloody sats. So can I justify coming into the market? That's right there. Can I come in and justify playing in this market way up here? No, I just can't. And, even if we look at this, I suppose we could argue that there was a trade, reload zones, all that kind of stuff. Previous market structure levels. Actually, we never even got down there. But you can see the 78.6. I love that line in the sand. I can understand people did take a shot here, but, heading into yesterday, that was like right here. And so even, for the traders, you had to be, thinking exit strategy, not entrance. And what really bugged me, I think was probably the worst thing, was one of our sort of our head programming guy on our site, Sjord. He interacts with a lot of younger people. And a younger gentleman that happened to be at his workplace was all like, hey, did you hear about this Verge? Hey, we're all going to get rich. The news is coming tomorrow. And I was like, uh-oh. We got trapped written all over it, right? And sure enough, ba-ba-boosh. So The only reason why I mentioned this was because I think that there was a lot of hype around this, and I think it helped the space. And so what I was really curious was, how was this going to play out in the broader context of the market? And what I was very pleased to see, as you can see, I like to follow all of these tether coins just to keep an eye on the market and see who's sort of leading. And what I saw was things like ETC. I love ETC down in here. It broke to new highs. We talked about this yesterday. I mean, and it's interesting. Charlie even tweeted to the Pornhub guys, "Hey, why aren't you using Litecoin?" And the guys were like, "I thought you sold all your Litecoin." And he goes, and Charlie goes back to him and goes, "If you guys agree to buy to use Litecoin, I'll go and buy my coins back." Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that they asked him. I didn't hear his response. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, their media guy is pretty crypto savvy, I think. Yeah, I think that it's good to hear that they're maybe have opened the door to accepting cryptocurrencies in general. I mean,
yeah, it's a step forward, right? It's, Rome wasn't built in a day. If anything, mass adoption. I don't, and for the audience to know, and I've said this all along, message doesn't change. We are not going to find out who's actually going to win at this cryptocurrency game until after this coming recession. Mm-hmm. So the question ultimately here is going to be, and we've got basically a principle of a major cryptocurrency here. Can Alex and his buddies hang in there through this coming recession? Most of the shit out there is going to get flushed out and they will just disappear. So, have fun ahead of this recession. I think we're still in the bubble phase of this. And the irony of it all, guys, you saw how quickly they cleaned this market up. Usually markets after these cleanups will just ratchet, ching, 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 straight up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of these names at new highs before the end of the summer. It wouldn't shock me one bit. And especially, the broader market tone, people aren't, it's interesting that you guys are telling me that the banks are shitting on the market, but it was interesting too. And I don't know whether we were recording, but Alex even said that he's hearing a lot of industry groups are now starting to say, hey, we've got a case for like class action, where we can actually take these banks to court and say, this is uncompetitive, this is unfair business practices. And my hunch is through the spring and the summer, you're going to hear that sort of case. Like, Will, you were even talking a little bit about that with one of the credit card issuers, is kind of busting your guys' chops. I wouldn't be surprised over the next 6 months we hear more of that. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I was really pleased that Litecoin here has gone in and put in a very good looking bottom. And you can see through today, the Verge effect. You can see the shooting star yesterday, right? They were definitely, if this thing rolled over and the Verge was it, and there wasn't any new buying power behind that, this market was ready just to crap right out and head back down. But you can see that Litecoin, and you love to use Litecoin as sort of a leading indicator, it's actually gone and broken this railroad tracks here. I think it's actually a pretty bullish sign. I'm feeling pretty positive about the space here,
I like to look at Doge as an overall sentiment of the altcoin market, and it's bouncing up nice too.
Yeah, Doge has done well. I always, whenever I hear about Doge, I can't wait till we can make Michelle Cabruza Cabrera bark like a dog. She hates this thing.
It's going to happen this June because, Brian, you're coming to DogeCon in Vancouver. It's going to be the coolest conference around. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Who aren't about the money.
Be awesome. I love Doge. And, here's another testament. We spend 2 or 3 months, and not 2 or 3 months, right? This is January. This is like 4 months of just shit, right? But look how quickly they take the bear back. Chung, 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 boom. Right? That's how quickly the bull can come alive here. And hopefully, I just talked to you guys about Verge and its narrow sideways channel. Hopefully everybody can see this narrow sideways channel. This is a technician's dream. When you see this, it's just like, this is beautiful. This is, in essence, the sellers just ran out of ammunition. And after a while, the market just simply says, look, we're supposed to be doing business. If you guys don't want to do business here, we're going to take the market to where we are going to do some business. And sure enough, sellers lost control. The bulls are taking over, and here we are pressing up against the highs. And you can see, the cool part about this is there are little markers on this chart telling you exactly where it wants to go back to. So if you had the balls to step up, and I guess we never did get back down to this double bottom, that would have been slick right there. But even if you had the balls to step up on this channel here, I think there's lots of profit potential here. It's a good looking chart.
Yeah, I got some from 40 sats. When I don't know what alts to buy, I just put them in Doge and like, it'll go with the market.
All right. Well, and we're heading into the silly season, so rock on.
I found a bunch of Doge, like 3 Bitcoins worth, lying around in the house somewhere.
That's a lot of Doge, man.
Yeah, don't forget your private keys. Yeah. There was somebody who was talking about that recently about they had a big old whack of one of these coins and they couldn't remember their private key. It was just torturous for them. That's a horrible
password to the wallet that dad or something.
Well, and then there's that gentleman. Oh, okay. So everybody watching this, do not store your private keys in an online document like Evernote. Do not do that. That is just asking for trouble. Would you all concur? Somebody back up here, please.
Cloud-based services are not a good choice for wallet storage.
Well, and especially storing your private keys. Like that's just, oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of suspicion around that though. Because if it's like if he stored all his money in an unencrypted private key on Evernote a week before he got hacked, a lot of people are saying it's him trying to basically defer losses for taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy.
And whether he did it or not, he maybe intentionally kind of displayed it on the live stream.
Yeah,
knowing
somebody would get in there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but it doesn't get him off the hook the taxes, though, right? He's still, if he's an American, that doesn't get you off the hook.
I thought you could report that as gains against your profits, so it would be losses against your profits.
Only on future profits.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because the gains, I think, would have to be paid for 2017, and this event happened in 2018.
Oh yeah, good point.
I did hear people talking about sort of tax dodge, but I don't know how you'd spin that. But anyway, here and over there, when I heard just simply that somebody was storing their private keys on that Evernote, I was like, please, everybody, do not do that. That's just that's just stupidity.
Yeah, the IRS are not assholes. They would work with you. Say, okay, well, you lost all this money. You owe us this taxes. Okay, fine. You know what have you got? What can you do for us and stuff like that? They will, if you're honest and straight up. They're not gonna freaking put you in jail because you can't afford to pay.
Yeah, they want you to pay them.
Well, the weird thing with the tax man is they'll throw you in jail and you still have to pay the tax bill when you get out of jail. So, I mean, I'm not going to comment on the IRS. Oh boy, have fun. I have all the fun I need with CRA, and thankfully, we've got lots of accountants and stuff that tell us how to behave properly there. So, and it's probably a good idea. Anybody watching this, nobody here that we're doing these shows. We are not giving tax advice. Consult a professional, and we are not in the business of giving tax advice. And I tell all my site members that as well. That's not what we do. We trade. If you have a capital gain, you have to report it and be a good person. Just simple as that.
So do we want to get into some wheel action?
Sure.
Get to the end of the show here.
Hey, was this am I doing a half decent job here for you guys today?
Oh, Brian, I'm loving your commentary. I've been hankering for it forever. I didn't know what to do.
It's too bad that we didn't get into Ubik because, like I said, I have a really cool little bot set up. But according to you, I'm not allowed to trade this. There's just fantastic bot setup that's setting up here, and you can see where my objective is. But I suppose if everybody is not allowed to sell their coins, then you can ramp this thing up here, no problem.
Well, there's a lot of coins on Bittrex. We'd like to see the address for Bittrex's deposits get a little bit lower. I think that'd be all right. But a lot of people, I think, are smarter now after the whole Z Classic thing. They're not just gonna withdraw everything and then let the market run away. Like, I think the smart guys would still leave some money on exchange, take advantage of any volatility.
Yeah. Well, what are we, 0.0003? I could easily see 30% higher from here, easily.
Yeah. Well, this is like only part of the bullish news for the year. We got lots of stuff coming down.
Oh, party on, Wayne.
Oh, yeah. You guys see my wheel here?
Yep.
In the wheel.
All right. I'm going to give her a spin. We had some pretty good suggestions. This is a Ubik asset, thanks to whomever suggested it. I know there's a tweet that coincides with
the old Twitter account suggested.
Oh wow, we didn't get many people, eh? Huh, interesting.
No, we didn't have too many today. I think it's kind of just seasonality and timing and stuff. So.
Actually, I put a tweet out. Like I was telling you guys a moment ago about the market state right now, and I actually really like the market state. Some of these names are just popping violently. It's beautiful. I don't know whether we were recording or not, but Dav and I were just chatting earlier about all the doubles that are. I mean, in our lounge on the TRI site lounge, it's great waking up. Everybody's like, oh, doubles.
Sounds like a turkey farm, just gobble, 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 double, 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 double.
We got this one, Joshua. He put together, I think his name is Sasha Cohen, and he does the Turkmenistan kind of
Borat, yeah.
Borat, is that his name? Borat. Anyway,
well, Borat is one of his characters.
Yeah. And anyway, so we do what? It's going to go doubles. It's nice. And so every morning we're waking up and people are banging out doubles, and you see the post. It's just awesome. So and I actually put out a tweet today. We're in this really cool little window where the alts are popping, and people are banging off doubles. And I think Cloak was one that treated us really nicely this morning. I mean, look at these nice big poppers here, giving us some really nice fills. There was one today. Oh my God, EMC. Did you guys see this one?
Yeah, they. I think they got a KRW market on Upbit, and it just exploded. Or no, they got added to Upbit. Like, yeah,
isn't that incredible? All of the today's highs all the way up here. Thank you. This has got to be a testament. Everybody, please, you got to have your open orders working. And if Trex is a pain in the ass and they kill your open orders, you got to have scripts so that the open orders get refreshed, or you got to be in there diligently making sure, because this is the type of market that we're in right now, where they're going to pop like this violently. And if you don't have your open orders working, you're SOL.
Well, so, Williams, what's it called? Stop loss that I've been using. Oh my gosh. On Coinigy. Oh,
we're still trying to kind of improve the performance on those. It's kind of a network effect type of thing, so everything's sitting, those orders sit in Coinigy until we detect the price, and then we fire it out. So I think I mentioned this a couple podcasts ago, but we kind of put a hard limit for users to lighten the load a little bit. But we are reworking that system to allow for a lot more. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I think Dav was pointing out that he's just in love with you guys. Wasn't that this morning you were saying that?
Exactly. Yeah, it was my stop loss were working for those ones that went up in 15. That was in short time. So I didn't think Coinigy was going to pull it off, but it did. It did.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of tricky. We have algos that we're constantly tweaking to basically quickly detect. It's not 100% yet, but it's pretty good now.
Right.
So that's all I can say, really. But
I took us off on a tangent there.
Sorry. I'm trying not to
But Apex, this is what we wanted to look at here.
Yep. Yeah, it's on Cryptopia. This was on Bittrex, but it got delisted for legality reasons. I guess the regulators didn't feel it was meeting their standards.
So is this actually a UBIC token?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. I think, didn't I hear correctly that, like, I understood that he started the idea. What's his name again?
Ace.
Yeah. Ace. Ace, of course, Ace.
Still waking up here.
But I think he started this idea as a security kind of thing. He wanted to run it as kind of like a fund, eh?
Yeah, it was going to be a trading and mining fund with some philanthropic stuff.
Yeah, and this is the whole issue of burning coins, right? Wasn't there supposed to be like it's going to burn coins, which basically guaranteed it was going to go up in price?
Yeah, because if you do dividends, it automatically passes the Howey test, or or fails the Howey test. Now I guess some of the regulators and the lawyers have kind of gotten wise to the whole burning thing. So like they're just like, even though it doesn't fall into the Howey test, it's pretty clear cut what's going on.
Right. So, and I think getting turfed off of Trex, if I understood the story correctly, they kind of had to go back to the drawing board. And I heard that he was just going to concentrate on mining.
Yeah, and that's even getting tough now because like Genesis was getting in trouble with their mining contracts. So like he's getting very creative of the business model he's putting forward.
Right. You know, technically speaking, it looks like somebody's accumulating this thing. I don't know. It'd actually be interesting. I'm not even quite sure how the lingo goes. Is this POW? Is it POS? Are people mining this coin?
No, it's a token, and there are still purchases going on of buybacks and buyback and burn. So if I can find that address quickly, I can check it out and see, because I know he's done like 50,000 coin burns fairly regularly for the last 6 months or so.
So the supply of the number of coins out there is slowly going down over time. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, correct. So it's kind of, he's still injecting profits in from the trading by like, you know, creating less or more scarcity, deflationary, that sort of thing.
I'm not quite sure. How do you figure out fundamental value on something like this?
Yeah, it's kind of tough because it definitely I mean, like he definitely has like a portfolio that represents the APX funds that were garnered in the ICO. It's just a matter of displaying what the current status of those funds are, because like he has operating costs for his business that he's running in South Korea. But I'm sorry, I didn't read up too much on Ace's stuff. Let me find his Telegram chat and see where the action is there. Things are quieting down there as well.
I mean, you know, this is probably a really good lesson for all of us. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. When I look at this chart, I see this tail, and I don't know how low this goes. That goes, it's printed, what does that say, 0? So I don't know whether we can actually even use that as a reference.
Here I found the burn address. Looks
all
like
right. I think probably this rally peak is definitely going to be significant resistance. You can see that corresponds with all of these highs in here. There was some, you know, like a lot of our technicians on the site love to study price gaps. And you can see this gap here, basically that's where the market stopped previously.
I think that's the candle that printed when it got delisted from Bittrex. So like it was rallying up. People were feeling pretty good about it, and then the hammer came down. But it's been around ICO price of 12 or 120,000 satoshis. So it does have I guess some
20,000 satoshis.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's how many zeros there are.
So that's 40. So it's at 54 right now, or where is it? I guess it's 115 right now.
Yeah, so it's just chilling. Like someone's accumulating it below ICO price.
Okay, well, and I guess that makes sense. You know, technically speaking, we love them W's. See, kind of like down, up, down, and then basically a sideways battle here. And if that's sort of at or below ICO, in fact, I know a lot of people on the site, they like to just simply track names that are trading at or below their ICO price. I guess the question here is he like, I mean, do you talk to this gentleman much anymore?
Yeah, I still hear from him every week, I guess. I'm in their Telegram room, and it's getting far more quiet. But like, yeah, we've been waiting for the mining contracts or the mining system to be released for probably a solid 3 months now. We've been expecting something, but
that's probably all of you guys sitting right here just waiting.
Yeah, he did release some like usages for the tokens. Like if they do another meetup and you have like 10,000 of them, which is like 10 Bitcoins at this rate, you'll get some of your expenses covered for the meetup. So, I mean, there's a way to get some of your money back, I guess.
10,000? So how many do I have here? I've got, wouldn't be over there, would it?
It would be Cryptopia.
Yeah, where's my Topia?
Well, maybe we should check out another wheel option here. If,
yeah.
Are we running out of time?
I think we're at about an hour.
I'm gonna have to scoot out of here pretty soon. Unfortunately,
I'm sorry, guys. Talking.
Oh, it's no problem at all.
We got one more wheel spinning us. You guys see my screen?
So. You got one more in you, Brian?
Yeah, sure. I mean, hell, I'm not in any hurry, but if you guys got to hop, you got to hop. I mean, just on this APX, if you can get a nice close above probably this mark right here, what is that? 1, 2, 4, 7, 7, 8, right? Then you probably know we're off to the races. Well, we play this as a channel. Really nibbles. That's not a terrible idea to nibble in. I do like the fact that somebody is just accumulating here. So. It's probably worth a shot down here. But bet the farm? I don't
know. All right. I'm going to give her another spin here. I need witnesses.
All right.
Oh, this is Dav's suggestion.
How many other Ubic tokens are on this wheel before we spin it? Is it all Ubic tokens?
No, it was just the one. I actually deferred and didn't put Ubic on again.
Next one's going to be GEO. What a coincidence.
I got to say, that is pretty awesome that you guys are now associated with GEO or vice versa or whatever.
I love that coin. That
was one of those early on where I was like, it's just a cool idea, you know, especially with the airdrops and everything. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're happy to have them. They're quite at home in our community. I gave it a spin here. I got NXT, which was which was Dav's pick.
NXT.
I swear he didn't slip me a bill before.
Do we want to look at this versus Bitcoin or versus
Bitcoin, please? People are telling me that it's dead. You shouldn't be buying it at the lows. I'm like, well, this is what I do, man. I have to like continue with my my methodologies, and because it's been working for me. You know what I mean? The little old lady style's been working. Can't like I don't do any more what's it called, fundamental analysis on these coins, because honestly, I don't see it.
Yeah, this market doesn't care about anything now, it seems.
No, I mean,
that's a little scary. I don't like the sound of that.
Right? Because developers are gone, and yet I knew for some reason that this is going to come back up.
Well, you know, the cool part about it is they always say V tops and V bottoms should be tested. So the fact that that was straight up and then straight back down should actually tell you that there's unfinished business up here. Didn't they do like ARDR or something like that? What's it? Is there some sort of spin-off on this thing?
Oh man, Dav, I got some bad fun in it. Yeah, like so they did an airdrop to basically launch their new network. So like the basically Next 2.0 is Adore or Ignis, one of the two. It's basically like a couple different, I think, development groups wanted to push the code further, and they did it in a way of snapshotting. Yeah, there's I don't know the full picture right now because it is very convoluted on how they all interact, but basically NXT is developer depreciated. And on the fundamental side, there is no block reward for NXT. It's zero inflation. So the stakers are only getting transaction fees. And I'm looking here, and like the last 100 blocks, I see maybe like 2 transactions. So like these guys are basically mining for nothing. Like which proof of stake doesn't consume a lot of resources. Like this could just be somebody's Amazon node, but that's where my concern comes for the long-term availability of this. Being developer depreciated is one thing because like this is good code. Like NXT runs really well. There are tokens that use it. People can trade on the platform. There are use cases for it. But if the Adore or Ignis starts becoming like the more usable, they start getting the same functionality, people pour it over, you're going to start seeing empty blocks and like basically complete abandonment by everyone, and then it's literally just a trading asset.
You mean deprecated, not depreciated?
Yeah, that's probably the word. Yeah.
All right. Technically speaking, I see probably I mean, hopefully everybody can see the W's here. So I can completely understand. And if you're a trader and W's are in your trading plan, well, you got to take the trade. You really don't have any choice. 38.2's first stop target. And this is just purely off of this dead cat bounce candle here. Not even going off the highs, just this slide here. So wicks and tails like to be eaten. I can see this wick right here probably needs addressing. And you'll notice that the candle body highs, that's sort of where we're brushing up against right now. So, could you justify going and buying this right here right now? I don't think so. I think ironically enough, the short-term risk reward, probably there's your potential reward window into that wick, 38.2. But at the same time, there's your risk window. So the risk window actually, to me, looks bigger than the reward window here. So certainly couldn't buy it here. Hats off to anybody who did be a buyer down in here. Let's say 1,700. So interestingly enough, 1,500 in that area up to 1,700, that 38.2 is just basically going to produce that double for you. I suppose, with the way I would be looking at this is, this is your profit taking window. Get yourself into a free trade if you can, give yourself that free look, and then who knows what the hell's going to happen. My hunch is, and I've seen this sort of for a few years now, is we sort of have this sort of dead cat bounce off of the lows, bounces into sort of, 420, usually like the end of April, beginning of May, there's a bit of a consolidation. Whenever I wouldn't be surprised, you can see Willie's starting to get approached being overbought. So as soon as we sort of get into this, we're coming into that late April window now. We're probably going to start to hear alts are back and all that kind of talk through this. 420 is really popular, right? Kids going to be walking around smoking dope in front of their parents' eyes and all that stuff. So, could we have a euphoric blow off top like we saw in a whole bunch of other names? We can see all the markets moving up here. Can we see that into that event? Probably, and that's probably your profit-taking window. And then, if you are interested in this, that's when I would be getting really serious about hunting tests of wherever the hell the top of this range is going to be. Tests of this recent bottom. And we often see, Alex remembers because I did it on his Jumbox a year or two ago, pullbacks against 78.6 against previous market structure levels represent awesome trade location. So I would be watching for that dip against these old lows for a reload sort of situation here. But could I buy it right now? No, couldn't touch it. And, you know, I mean, I appreciate Dav's sort of, you know, lack of interest in fundamentals right now. But if anything, I kind of think that because we're getting so late in this stage of the crypto rally, and we're very late in the stage of the economic cycle, in a weird sort of way, you know, once we get beyond this little friendly seasonal window here, I would actually prefer that we go the other direction and actually try and rein in the crap and just really concentrate on the fundamental stories. Because once this seasonal window is over, I'm very fearful. I actually could realistically see a stock market crash this fall. I think once we head into recession, we've talked about this earlier, a lot of the suspect names like this might just go right off the board. And that might be their death knell.
Are you thinking, Brian, you know, if the U.S. stock market were to crash, that would be catastrophic for crypto, or would that be good for crypto?
I think a lot of, especially in a lot of altcoin names that are kind of suspect fundamentally, they don't really have that great of a story. I remember in the fall of 2000, when we were heading into that cycle peak, you could raise money because you just were able to secure a domain name, pets.com. You didn't really do anything. You know, these companies, people ask them, so what's going to prevent somebody else from getting into your business? Oh, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have anything proprietary that makes you any different? No, nothing. Well, what the hell does that say? It's 19.
Nice shirt, Alex.
Yeah, it's the new shirt I got from one of the ICOs at CoinFest. It's 1994, so that's their opinion of the market. It's still very early, but yeah, there's still a lot of names to drop off because the valuations don't make sense.
Yeah, and the problem is that when the public sort of figures that we're just getting going, what do you think, right? That's usually a trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, make hay while the sun shines. You know, we're heading into the silly season. Enjoy it. Make great money. They're already starting to pop. The doubles are already starting to pour in. You had to be on the trigger through the winter, and as everybody else was shitting their pants, right? You had to be in there buying, which is difficult to do. Don't get me wrong. But you know, once we're on the other side of the seasonal window, be damn careful, please, everyone. So the point that I just wanted to make was that in the fall of 2000, we were on the other side of Y2K. We were on the other side of that, you know, the new millennium, you know, where you could get funding for anything. And, you know, we're getting into the new century. We're going to make tons of money. What I found was in the fall of 2000, then all the fund managers said, okay, now show us these profits. We gave you all this ICO money. And those days it was IPOs. We gave you all this money. Now show us the results. And what I'm hearing is there's a lot of crypto stories that their day of reckoning is this fall. That a lot of these crypto names, they've been told that, hey, you got to actually deliver something for us this fall. So I'd be very leery about fundamentally iffy names once we get out through this seasonally friendly window. That's just me. And then we can do the whole damn thing all over again next winter. It's remarkable how seasonal this market is. It's just,
my only word of advice is if it truly is 1994, we got to stop Courtney Love, man. Kurt's too important. Just if you have the means, Brian.
You know that their kid now is a musician.
Really? Is that Frances Bean?
I heard her on the radio because my son, he listens to the Bebop radio station. And they were all falling in love with Kurt Cobain's daughter, I think it is.
Yeah, that's got to be Frances Bean Cobain.
She's now on the pop scene.
Crazy, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah, no, that's scary, isn't it? Kurt Cobain has a teenage daughter? What?
All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap it up. I'm going to have to get stepping out here shortly. So I apologize, guys. Thank you for doing it so earlier.
Any benefit to anybody today? I don't know.
Definitely.
Okay, good. Well, you know, please pop on the site. We have a new term of our school coming up in May. Just a ton of people have went through our program, and another big slew of them is coming in. But you want to get schooled up, and you want to, you know, at least put yourself into a position where you're not being taken advantage of, and you kind of understand risk management and how to behave in the marketplace. That's what our program's all about. And actually, the great part about it is we got Dav here. Dav's like the shining knight. Look how relaxed Dav is. When I first met Dav, he was so wound up. He was wound up tight. But look at him now. Now he's just like, manana. Manana. I got so much money, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Exactly. Exactly. It's easy now.
So if you want to live the life of Dav, pop on TRI's site, hang out in the great part about it is we get daily videos. Dav's on there on a regular basis, even contributing. So alumni do like to stop back in and help out the new people. So feel free to stop by the site. TRI, I suppose we ought to give you a pitch of the site. And we are theoretically, Sjord and Julian, I would like to see us keep moving forward. But we are theoretically moving to a whole new, brand new website coming up pretty soon. But here is our site if you haven't seen it before, and all my gazillions of messages by all of the people on the site on a regular basis. But here is our site, and it's served us pretty well. You know, we are affecting change in this world, and that's exactly why I did this program to begin with. So, thank you very much for your ear, everyone. Hope to see you on the site, and of course I hope to see all of you guys again in one of these shows real soon.
Right on.
Okay, I'm done my spiel. Who's next?
I'll just do mine. Check out Coinigy. Next couple weeks are going to be pretty exciting. So new stuff to test out, new toys.
Cool.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, you can check out me. I'm Alex_Stirk on Twitter, but Ubic Smart is where all the good info is on the project I'm working on. You can also check out my podcast, Block Talk. We have lots of cool shows on. This Saturday, we're doing one on BTC forks, talking about all the different forks that kind of went on and how to claim them and how to be safe about it. And this Monday we have a developer meeting for Ubic right before the airdrop. And if you want to find out more about that, check out blog.ubicsmart.com. And that's my shtick. See you guys in the next show.
Yeah, well, I'm Da Vinci. I have like a YouTube channel. I haven't done a YouTube video in a while. It's Da Vinci J15, but I have like also a Twitter page at Da Vinci J15. And also, if you check out DaVinciCodes.net and check out my blog, and you want some Bitcoins, if you comment on the blogs there, and place your address or your wallet address, I will send you some Bitcoins.
Score. What was that address? What?
That's a good incentive.
Hey, and speaking of which, Mr. Gold and Silver took off here today. You must be pretty excited about that, eh?
Yeah, I got tons of silver.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm in it for the long run, anyways. For the okay, yeah, things are really bad, and we realize that silver's been manipulated to the ground, and silver is more rare above ground than gold. When that happens, that's when I'm selling.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again. I think we're gonna shut her down.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Well, yeah, whatever all the YouTubers say.
To do. I'm always terrible at all that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I'm not much of a host. I got to go through some training or something. I can probably do this a lot better, but
man, I try and do a video on the site on a daily basis, and like I'm hopping because now we have like multiple speakers on the damn show, and I can't do half as good a job as you do. Will you totally rock it?
Oh, thanks, Brian. Thanks.
Yeah,
I pretty much just do the intro and then I just kick back and relax and let you take the wheel. So.
Okay.
Anyway. Well, thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. You know, maybe tentatively the next 2 weeks or something. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll try to do that, depending on schedules and whatnot. So,
hell yeah!
Take her easy and happy.
All ready for this summer. It's gonna be crazy, people.
Yeah,
Alex saying.
yeah.
All right. Woo. See you later. Happy trade.
Bye, everybody.